Hi guys, don't you think it's strange? Don't you think it's strange that the definition of the words are changing? Don't you think it's strange that a president says something one day and then a few days later will say the opposite of it? Don't you think it's strange that you've got rules who don't make any sense? Don't you think it's strange feeling is fundamental? It's fundamental because it's actually a trigger point, right? It's basically a starting point of you um, being aware of the current situation and understanding what's happening. So every time you've got a don't you feel it's strange feeling, don't reject it. Listen to yourself. Don't think the opinion of people right away because it's very likely that a lot of people react in a mechanical manner, right? They basically are polarized or carry the opinion of the government or the system itself, right? So, but try to think by yourself, right? And especially, usually the don't you feel it's strange feeling come from your experience. You are used to see something, you are used to see the system behave in a certain manner, see people doing something, and then suddenly you've got this item that trigger a change, right? So, for instance, the definition of a pandemic, right? Don't you think it's strange that suddenly the definition of a pandemic or definition of other words starts changing? Of course, it's strange. And so you could have the approach of stopping there, not paying attention to it, and continuing your life, but you can also pause and try to understand why. Why did they change, for instance, the definition of a pandemic? And as you try to understand why, you will usually reach the reason for it. And in this context, for instance, definition of a pandemic was changed so that we can accommodate and put people in a special framework of basically the declaration of a emergency status. That should not have been on if we haven't changed the definition of a pandemic, right? So there's a reason for things happening. Things don't happen like this for no reason. There are actually strategy behind this, people thinking, people trying to push their own interest, and they will not hesitate to change the system. If you are not paying attention to those signals, so we call that signal basically. So don't you think it's strange that A is happening, B is happening, A, B being actually signal, right? You can see them or you may not see them, but you need to pay attention and analyze them to understand the situation. It's very important. The don't you think it's strange feeling is actually, the root, the starting point of being aware, becoming aware of the current situation. So don't neglect them, think by yourself, try to seek the opinion of some people in your network which are pretty open-minded and look at things. You know it, right? You know it in your family, in your network, in your friends. Who is pretty open-minded, who is reading, usually trying to understand what's happening, or who is narrow-minded, right? You go toward the people which are open-minded and you ask them their opinion. It doesn't mean that you need to adopt their own opinion, but you need a bit of suggestion, right? Because sometimes it's hard actually to find the information by yourself. So start paying attention to this intuition, this feeling that you are, right? Don't you think it's strange that this is happening, that they are doing things in this manner versus as it used to be done by the past? All right, bye.